conference is basically to highlight on an issue which the state of Goa is facing. There is a constitutional crisis in the state of Goa. Now the summoning of the 7th session of the 7th Legislative Assemblies for the state of Goa for a period of only 3 days, commencing from 29th January 2019 to 31st January 2019, has given rise to a constitutional crisis. The state of Goa is taking undue advantage of the fact that Article 174 of the Constitution only requires 2 sessions to be held in a year. And they're taking advantage of the lacuna in the Constitution, which does not specify the minimum number of days that the session should be held. Now what we are finding today is the Manor Parrikar government taking advantage of this lacuna in the Constitution, which does not specify a minimum number of days a session should be held, is basically having a second session only for the purpose of complying with the mandate of Article 174. The Manor Parrikar government is disregarding the spirit of the Constitution, which requires the legislature to legislate, debate and hold the government accountable for its actions and its policies. The Chief Minister is the Chief Manager. He controls the legislative business in the House. He is the person who has to steer, bring in legislation, introduce policies for the approval of the Assembly. Now this Chief Minister, Mr. Manor Parrikar, is running the administration from a privately owned ICU created in his private residence. Is that there is no shortfall of issues, problems that the state is facing. There are 66 subjects in the state list, 47 subjects in the concurrent lists in which the State Assembly is competent to legislate. There are issues which require the urgent attention of the government, where Manor Parrikar government had to introduce legislation for the purpose of solving. Now when Manor Parrikar was the opposition leader, he always demanded for a longer session of the Assembly to discuss, debate and solve the issues of Goa and the Goan people. Now the same Manor Parrikar, who is running this BJP-led government, is now convening a short session showing the least respect for the Constitution, the constitutional trust vested in the office of the Chief Minister, and also to the people of Goa. Now this short session will not help to solve the problems faced by the state of Goa.
जेन्ना आमी आमदार मिनिस्टर मोद घेता तेन्ना आमी शपथ घेता की आमी न्याय दितले आनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हा तशें वागतले. जे तरेन तेणेन नाचारी केली आनी तेज्या खातीर सौद्याक ताका GTDC दिली, हेजो अर्थ न्हू की आज एके वाटेन आमी म्हणटा की टुरिजम कॉलेप्स जाता, टुरिजम गोंयान काबार जाता. जी पॉलिसी आज ताका GTDC दिली तुमी छापलां, तेणें उलयना ते मोर्चे कार्निवाल करता म्हणून. थंय आतां काल पयर हांव भोंवता थंय दिलां मांद्रा पर्यटन महोत्सव म्हणून. आतां थोड्या दिस शिगमोय आसतलो. जेन्ना तुज्या खंय तरी तुका परत कितें दिवंक जाय म्हणून GTDC दिले, हेजो अर्थ त्या गांवांनी उत्सव करून लोकांचो पयशाचो बिबाड करप आनी ज्या त्या भागांत जाय काय ना काय लोकांक खबर आहा, ते स्वाभिमानी पेडणेकारांक खबर आहा. ते म्हणटात की आमी हेका निवडून दिल्लो, हे आमचो स्वाभिमान विकपाक, हेका स्वता लाचार करपाक जावपाक आमी हेका निवडून हाडलो. ते लोक वाट पळयतात की जेन्ना आपल्या दारार येतलो हेका आमी धांवडून घालतले. जे तरेन आमी आदल्या मिनिस्टराक आनी मुख्यमंत्र्याक वाट दाखयल्या, ते आमी स्वाभिमानी पेडणेकार योग्य टायमार दाखयतले. तेंची विनवणी आहा एकूच, काँग्रेस पक्षान एक बरो उमेदवार दिवचो. ते म्हणटात आमचो स्वाभिमान विकलो तेणें, त्याच बरोबर जरी तेणें राजिनामो दिलो जाल्यार आख्ख्या गोंयांत संकटान हाडपाकूय तेजो हातभार आहा. ना जाल्यार आयज काँग्रेस सरकार आसतलो. दुसऱ्या पक्ष एक जावन ते सरकार घडयतले आसले जेणे करून जी गोंय आतां फेस करता जी ट्रेजेडी गोंयची जाल्या ही जावची नासली आनी हे गोंयचे हे सगळ्या प्रकरणाक ह्या सोबतेचो हात आहा.
Regarding the short tenure of the assembly, the fourth session of the legislative assembly was only for a period of 5 days. The fifth assembly session was for 4 days. The sixth session was for 12 days. And the seventh session is only for 3 days. Now we are having 4 sessions. That is, if you see Article 174, 2 years, there is no substantive work, legislative work being done. This is a constitutional crisis that we are facing because there is a lacuna in the constitution. The minimum number of days has not been specified. Now we find that the Chief Minister is taking advantage of the same. There are several issues, I am repeating it again, which needs to be debated. Policies have to be introduced.
फिफ्थ असेंब्ली नाव आसली तेन्ना आतांचे चीफ मिनिस्टर सदांच म्हणा सेशन कमी आहा 45 days घेवंक जाय आनी सदांच आमकां उलोवंक गावना एक वर 2 वर उलोवन सुद्दां उलोवंक गावना म्हणून तेज्या बरोबर आमी जेन्ना असेंब्लीन आसले तेन्ना आमी पळयताले 9 9:30 बीन बंद जाताली आयज 6:30 7 म्हणटालूच बंद जाता आनी 45 days नाकात जेन्ना ऑल इंडिया स्पिकर्स कन्वेन्शन जाता तेन्ना प्रत्येक फावट हो मुद्दो आसा की प्रत्येक स्टेटीन कमीत कमी मिनिमम एका वर्साक 30 दीस घेवंक जाय ते 30 दीस आयज गोंयान जायना ही 2 वर्सां ही असेंब्ली जाल्या तेन्ना हांव निवडून येयलो सेकंड टायम तेन्ना पळयता की 2 वर्सांक ही 30 दीस असेंब्ली जायना जो 45 days मागतालो आयज ते मनीस 30 दिसां पेक्षा सकयल कटेल करता तशें कटेल केलो हेजो अर्थ इतकोच फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच आमचे जे एक्सप्रेशन आमी लोकांचे जे प्रश्न आहा लोकांचे जे पळय मागण्यो आनी लोकां खातीर कितें आमकां थंय मुद्दे उठोवपाचे आहा उठोवंक गावना म्हणूनच आमी खंय तरी कमी पडटा.